Hello and welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, your host for the show. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We're talking about hurricane preparedness. And with us we have John Young, who is the Jefferson Parish president. We've got from Orleans Parish, Lieutenant Colonel Jerry Sneed, and Jerry is the New Orleans Deputy Mayor of Public Safety and Homeland Security. Alicia Haefele is with us. She is with the Louisiana SPCA. We're going to be talking hurricane preparedness for pets. And finally, from Cox Communication, our Manager of Risk and Safety, Mr. Elvin Thibodeaux, is going to be talking about how we as Cox prepare for a hurricane season and also other natural disasters that may follow as well. Great show lined up, a lot of good information. My name is Steve Sawyer. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. A great show today. We're talking about hurricane preparedness, and what better way to start that off with Jefferson Parish President John Young. John, thank you so much for taking time to be in the studio. I know you've got a busy schedule today, so we'll just jump right into it. Jefferson Parish 2014 hurricane season, you guys ready?
We're ready. We're much better protected today, Steve, than we've ever been. Certainly since Katrina, over $14.5 billion have been spent on the hurricane protection system for the greater metropolitan New Orleans area. But it's important to remember it's a risk reduction system, not a risk elimination system.
Very good point. Very good point.
And we're only protected up to a Category 3, so it's a marathon, not a sprint. But again, those areas inside the hurricane protection system have seen pump stations fortified, front-end protection, foreshore protection. All the levees on the East Bank and West Bank have been raised to 100-year level of protection. We have the world's largest pumping station on the West Bank at the intersection of Algiers and Harvey Canal, which protects Plaquemines, Orleans, and Jefferson.
And that's larger than the one that's out off of 17th Street Canal? Wow.
It is 20,000 cubic feet per second. And then you have the Harvey Canal floodwalls, which is a redundant system after that pumping station. Talking about the 17th Street Canal, the Orleans and London, that's the only component of the hurricane risk reduction system that was passed by Congress after Katrina that hasn't been completed. But those permanent pump stations, the construction of those are underway. The interim gates are there, but when the one at the 17th Street Canal is finished, it'll be 12,000 CFS, which will allow pump station number 6 to pump continuously. So again, another component that will increase our protection. However, Jefferson Parish is the tale of two parishes. We have those areas that still lie outside the hurricane protection system. That's Lafitte, Crown Point, and Barataria, and of course Grand Isle, which always gets hit. Grand Isle, most of the structures on Grand Isle are elevated. That helps when the water comes in and goes out. But that's what we're doing in the short term to help Lafitte, Crown Point, and Barataria elevate homes. Long-term solution is a ring levee. But those communities have been flooded 4 times in the last 9 years. So that's a challenge that we have to meet as we go forward to make sure they get the same type of protection that the communities inside the hurricane protection system have received.
Yeah. And it's probably, correct me if I'm wrong, but I bet it's safe to say right now that at this point in time, Jefferson Parish has probably never been as protected as good as you are right now.
No, this is the best we've ever been. And again, having said that, it is still a risk reduction. The one thing I do want to point out, though, is now is the time for everyone to get their game plan together, to get their evacuation plan in order. Because what we're all concerned about right now, because we've had, Isaac came, the hurricane protection system worked. It was barely a Category 1, but it wreaked havoc because it was a slow-moving Category 1. Every storm's different. It only takes one. So a lot of people have become complacent. Some people have purchased generators and want to stay here. But as you know, and as most of us know, it's not just surviving the storm, it's surviving the aftermath of the storm. And even though we have generators for our drainage pump stations, we have over 541 sewage lift stations in Jefferson Parish, and we can't afford to back all those up with generators. So, you don't think about it, but it doesn't take electricity to flush your toilet, but it certainly takes electricity to pump that to the sewage treatment plants.
Very good point.
So that, when everybody's here and remains here and the electricity's off for a week or so like it was with Isaac, that creates complications. So again, now is the time that if there is an evacuation order suggested or ordered, to make your plans now.
Well, John, I know hurricane preparedness for you is a huge concern for you. Congratulations on all you and the parish and the council have done, because we see the improvements that have been made. And again, hats off to you for all the dedication and hard work you've been putting on. That's Jefferson Parish President John Young. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Great show we've got lined up today because we're talking about hurricane preparedness. We just had Jefferson Parish President John Young, and now our next batter up, so to speak, Lieutenant Colonel Jerry Sneed. Jerry is the New Orleans Deputy Mayor of Public Safety and Homeland Security, and Jerry is a big title with a lot of big responsibilities. And I'll ask you, just like we asked President Young, New Orleans Parish, everything ready to go for the hurricane season?
Yes, we're ready. The big thing is, are our citizens ready? But the levee protection system is the best it's ever been in many, many years. Our plans are solid. Mayor Landrieu ensures that we all work together. You know, it's the New Orleans plan, but it's the region's plan. So we coordinate our efforts with Plaquemines Parish, St. Bernard, Jefferson, with state, feds. Everything is there. We have ready.nola.gov. We ask our citizens now, when everything's calm, quiet, there's nothing out in the Gulf at all, go to ready.nola.gov, look to see what you need to do to prepare for the hurricane season and get ready early on. Don't wait until the storm starts barreling down at you, because we just don't think well under stress. So do it now. Look to see what needs to be done. And I think Isaac was that storm that took forever to get here and never wanted to leave. I think we learned some very valuable lessons a couple of years ago from Isaac, that small storm can really bother us also. So there will be times when we ask our citizens just to hunker down in place, get ready, hang on, and take precautions. If you can get a generator, please get a generator, have that. If you don't have a generator, you're going to lose power probably. So if you have canned goods, you're ready to eat, and don't have, all you have is electric can opener, you might be in trouble. So do the things that need to get people ready.
Well,
if
Jerry,
we
let me
have
ask
to
you a question.
evacuate, that's another scenario altogether.
And that's something I want to ask too, because years past, it seemed like for Orleans Parish, everybody just thought, well, we'll go to the Superdome. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the Superdome is an evacuation point any longer.
If the mayor asks for a mandatory evacuation, there are no shelters of last resort. The only shelters of last resort we have are our first responders that stay here and fight the battle. Everybody else, when the mayor asks for a mandatory evacuation, they need to heed his warnings and leave.
Okay,
if
that's
they
a good
don't,
point.
If they don't, we're not opening up shelters. They're going to be on their own, by themselves. There'll be times if they're in trouble, we can't send our first responders out to help them out. So they're going to accept full responsibility for not leaving. So we're not going to ask for a mandatory evacuation unless we have to. And if we do, just like like Gustav, our citizens listen to us. The ice storm, our citizens listen to us. Trust us. We're not going to ask for an evacuation unless we feel that we need to heed our warnings.
Yeah, and you are serious that don't think we're playing that. Don't worry, we'll open the Superdome, Convention Center at the last minute.
No,
not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. We guarantee our citizens that. Again, prepare for. Everybody has risks throughout the United States. I'd much rather the hurricane risk than that earthquake that's going to happen in San Francisco someday. Yeah. So we know what our risk, we can prepare for them, now's the time to do it. But no, there are no shelters of last resort if the mayor asks for a mandatory evacuation.
Well, the website is www.nola.gov. We're going to put that on the screen.
Ready.nola.gov.
Ready.gov. And all information regarding hurricane preparedness and other things.
Yes, exactly. Okay. It's right there for them. And again, while things are nice and calm, contraflow is on there. Contraflow is good, but you need to do it early. Don't be going down the road with that map in your hand. Know how contraflow works for you, because if you think you're going to southwest Louisiana and you're in the wrong lane, you may be going to North Mississippi.
Well, and the key thing is, as you say, preparedness. So, Jerry, we'd love to have you come back on. Any other information that you want to share regarding Orleans Parish and things of that nature, you're always welcome.
I appreciate that. But again, we're ready. We want our citizens ready also.
Good news. Stay with us. We'll be more with hurricane preparedness right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Again, great show today about hurricane preparedness, something that I'm not going to say we take it for granted here in this area, but it's something that we need to focus on this time of year. And one of those things sometimes we tend not to think about is hurricane preparedness for our pets. And with that, we're very happy to have Alicia Haefele. Alicia is with the Louisiana SPCA. And Alicia, thank you so much for being on the show.
We're really excited to come.
Who's your friend?
This is Trixie. Trixie is a 3-year-old Boston Terrier, and she's super cuddly. She's super fun. She walks great on a leash, and she's just really a great house pet.
Well, now let me ask, before we get into hurricane preparedness for pets, I mean, she is adoptable, and
she's very much adoptable. If you're interested in her, you can go to our website. It's la-spca.org, and you can check out Trixie and also all the other adoptables that we have.
Well, let's do this, and we'd love to have you come back on the show from time to time and talk more about pets and the things that you guys do. But with hurricane preparedness, let's talk first about the pet evacuation bill, because I think that's something that was passed after Hurricane Katrina.
Yes, during Hurricane Katrina, if you evacuated and you used the city-assisted program to evacuate, they wouldn't take your pets with you. So a lot of people chose to stay, or if they made that hard decision to leave without their animals, unfortunately, the outcome of those animals wasn't very fortunate. So after Katrina, legislation was passed to where if you do evacuate through the city is required to take companion animals. So they can't be boarded with you. So if you go to an evacuation location, you won't have your animal with you, but they will take your animal and they will evacuate it to safety and then reunite the pets with their owners after. So it's a way to ensure that our animals are taken care of because they are members of our family.
Absolutely. And companion pet, that would be?
Cats or dogs.
Okay, all right. Now let's talk about hurricane preparedness for pets. What are some of the things that, and I've got a dog, so if I'm getting ready to evacuate, what are some of the things that I need to look out for other than my family, but also for my pet?
Well, it's keeping in mind that pets are members of the family. So just as if you were making a hurricane evacuation plan, you would take into account each member of your family and what they need for to evacuate. You want to do the same thing with your pet. And everything you do, you want to make sure that you can provide for your pet for about 5 days because you really don't know how long you're going to evacuate for. So anything as simple as food and additional water in addition to what you have for your family, make sure you have enough set on the side for your pet. But any medications, an extra leash, collar, ID tag, a kennel,
paper,
anything to pick up or clean up waste. Yeah. The list can go on and on and on. And we actually have printable checklists for things to evacuate with, items to make sure you have in preparation of hurricane season. All that's available on our website.
And we're going to put that on the screen, www.la-spca.org. And I was going to ask you, all that information is on the website?
Yeah, it's on the website. We have it on there year-round, too.
Okay. Now, are you guys just Orleans Parish only, or Jefferson?
For Louisiana SPCA, we do Orleans Parish only.
Okay.
And our animal control, we're actually contracted by the city of New Orleans to provide animal control for Orleans Parish. Oh. So our animal control team actually assists with the city-assisted evacuation. So they'll be the ones out there helping you to evacuate your pets, making sure the pets get to a safe location.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask a crazy question, and
Okay.
I apologize, but and she is so well behaved. There would be, if I lived in St. Charles Parish, there'd be nothing to prevent me from adopting her, even though you're in Orleans Parish.
Not at all.
Okay.
We've had people come in from Texas recently to adopt a disabled animal that we had that only had 3 legs, and she saw her online, fell in love with her, and she drove all the way from Texas to adopt. So if you are interested, by all means, we're happy to have you come down and take a look at it.
Well, Alicia, I want to thank you for taking time to be on the show. Again, the website is www.la-spca.org. We're going to put that on the screen. Think about your pets when you evacuate for any reason, and we're going to get Alicia to come back on some future shows and talk more about what the Louisiana SPCA does and the pets you can adopt. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Again, such a great show today. Hurricane preparedness. We've had Louisiana SPCA, we've had Jefferson Parish, we've had Orleans Parish, and now something that we thought about for our Cox customers is we want to let you know that we as Cox are prepared, and we are very happy to have Mr. Elvin Thibodeaux. Elvin is our Cox Southeast Region Manager of Risk, EHS, and Business Continuity. And Elvin, welcome to the show. Greatly appreciate you taking time to be here. And I know you're busy, and the one thing that I have to say to you is you do such a great job of keeping this company focused on what we need to do to not only protect our customers, but to ensure that we have a quality product going out. And it's not just hurricanes, it's anything and everything that you focus on. But I do want you to take a few minutes and talk about how we as Cox prepare for hurricane season and some of the things that we do to get ready, because it's pretty extensive.
It is extensive. And thank you, Steve, for that. I really appreciate it. And you know, you're part of that overall the planning that goes into place for us for the last few years. We went through Katrina together. We went through storms before that. But you're absolutely right. We have several risks that come into place. You know, we have the flood risk, we have hurricane risk, and then now we have even winter weather risk. Mm-hmm. So we take that very seriously. We actually meet with the group of our structure that's designed for leadership that respond to these emergencies on a 3-week basis, every 3 weeks basis, on off season. And during tropical season, we go to a 2-week meeting rotation. In fact, we have one on Friday. Mm-hmm. And
that I'll be a part of.
That you will be part of. That's right. And basically, we also interact with a lot of the emergency operations centers, people like Jerry Sneed, you know, Charlie Hudson and Jefferson Parish. We rely on GOSEPs in our area here, and then also the emergency offices in Florida. And it's challenging work, but our folks here have been so resilient. Our leadership has been so resilient. We have 300 people in the state of Louisiana alone that respond to outages, sometimes even though when the weather gets, you know, pretty bad, mm-hmm. and to the point that they can do safely, and to keep the communication lines running. We take it very seriously. We do recognize now that, and I think most of the community recognize now, that we are part of the conduit that brings the communication via the internet as an ISP to mm-hmm. the rest of the world. Agencies rely on us and so forth. There's an awful lot of details that go into an awful lot of planning. We spent the whole entire day, what was it, last 2 Thursdays ago, which you took part of, mm-hmm. In trying to get everybody together in the whole entire Southeast Gulf Coast. And we learned a lot of lessons from that, like we normally do, and we move on.
Well, and you know, Elvin, that's one thing that for our customers who get our product and they see our product working, I really don't think they understand the work that you do in getting everybody ready. We go through drills. I mean, there's a lot. We've got a continuity plan that you're responsible for that, I mean, it literally has steps, and we didn't have this before Katrina.
No, we didn't. We learned an awful lot of lessons. I think that you were there, part of the 500 lessons we learned. There's several steps we do, and everything's on the timing stage. And there are events that we even have to get ready for, like the Black Swan, mm-hmm. the event that just automatically happened in Florida this past spring, that we wouldn't really had early notice on it. Yeah. But that's just some of the groups. We have programs in place where we have uniquely designed communication tools for you that you receive. Mm-hmm. You have programs in place where you can access the plans either in written form, electronically. We have maps, all kinds of different programs out there that we use.
Elvin, let me wrap it up by the website, www.coxalert.com. Good information for customers to look at.
It's good information for employees to look at in general. Also, the customers. There's tools in there you can go into and actually build.
I'm going to have to wrap it up, or we'll be having a preparedness show for me if I don't wrap this up. Elvin, thank you so much for being a part of the show. You've been watching Across Louisiana. Hope you find this information helpful. We've been doing our hurricane preparedness show, and we will see you next time.